So, for the audience, hello, my name's Louise Jupp for Women and Drones Africa. Welcome to the second of the fireside chats. And during this, during this chat, we'll have a guest speaker, but really the whole point of this is to start a forum and network with other people from across the African continent. And just to meet, as I said, network, support each other, share news, share funny things that might have happened in the field with a drone, anything like that, and just share experience. And yeah, today I am delighted to introduce you to Eszter Kovacs, the CEO and founder of Drone Talks and Drone Talks Academy, who's in a very snowy Switzerland. Hello, Eszter.
Hi, everyone, and thanks, Louise, for the invitation. I'm the member of the Women and the Drones, community, and I should admit that that's the first time I joined to any of the activities, which is a shame on me, very strongly a shame on me. So special thanks to Louise for the invitation and motivate me as well to join to more discussions in the future. So. Yeah, I'm based in Switzerland, and actually I have two startups. One of them is a PR marketing agency focused on drones and drone technologies, and another one is an educational platform called Drone Talk Academy. And I think today we will talk more about this academy platform, which was launched, I think, nearly a year ago, but became really popular 6 months ago. So the first 6 months was kind of unknown. When you kickstart a new business, that's, I think, normal. So thanks for the invitation. And I think this should be a really open chat. So feel free to ask any question about Switzerland or about Europe, about drone or regulations or stakeholders. I am specialized in UTM, U-Space, and also, I just recently left the Global UTM Association where I was the director. That's also a topic where I'm very happy to talk about. And so.
Okay. Cool, excellent. No, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. I have to ask, really, but why? Why drones? How did you get into this?
So I don't have aviation background. However, I have engineering background. So I finished the university in Budapest, where I come from originally. I'm Hungarian, and I became a safety engineer. I was in the military. But this was a national military university as a safety specialization. But I recognized, actually, first month of the university, I don't want to work for the military. It's nothing which I'm interested in. That I didn't see any common ground. But I still finished the uni, and following on that, I went to multinational companies, and I worked in telecom 10 years, big telcos like Verizon and the others, in Hungary and in Norway and in the UK, internationally. So I moved between the countries. And in the last job, basically for 4 years, I led an innovation hub where telcos try to find how to integrate 4G technologies, Internet of Things technologies to drones. So basically for BVLOS flights, you can use the cellular, it's like a flying mobile phone, if I want to kind of explain it. You use the same technology, but the drone flies without pilot, and it's automated and machine-to-machine communication. So I led that innovation hub for 4 years, and following on that, I was really, really into drones, and I understood the positive effect of the technology. I was engaged with the fantastic people in the field, and I see a lot of potential in that. And I was just like, okay, I don't want to work for another big multi. I just want to do my own business. I was always very entrepreneur. I didn't really fit in the box, if you know what I mean. They always come and tell me what I have to do. And I seen a million other ways, and I never really fit in this corporate world. So I just left 2 years ago, and
Okay.
Stick with drones, but not another multi.
Okay. Cool. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, what led you to create Drone Talks, and now more recently, you know, as you say, the Drone Talks Academy? What led to that?
Yes, I'm very honest with you. You know, when I left, I set up my own agency, and I became the director of the. Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
how's it?
So I became the director of this global UTM association, as I mentioned you, which had big names like Google Wing, Uber Elevate, you know, Amazon, and these big companies working on how to integrate drones to the air traffic management system. And you know, I talked more and more C-level people there in my daily basis, and I understood basically their decision affect the whole ecosystem and what they think. It's really interesting for everyone in the ecosystem to know and understand why drones, where they put the money, how they see as an investment this business, what they use from the different verticals and applications. So I had more and more talks, and after I was like, okay, let's record those talks, you know, with these C-level people. And it became extremely popular. We put it on Spotify, we put it on the web page, and we had like huge traffic, like thousands and thousands people watching, and it was like, wow, so we really have to have more. and and after that we start to hunt down these CEOs. You know, previously it was just like, let's talk and record, but follow now we see for really pioneers, really change makers, who are the top level decision makers in the industry and which direction they go. So and that's one part of the story. So if you check the webpage dronetalks.online, you see a lot of C-level talks there. On the other part is the social acceptance, because during my work I recognize I work with a lot of governments, and I recognize the C-level people talk totally different than the people like communities and governments. And like my neighbor go and complains about drones to the local council, and the local council has this big pressure on them, regulate the drones, not let them fly, not let innovation happens, even if it's positive. But there are this huge pressure from the communities and complaints. And after I was like, why these people go and complain, hey, this drone maybe save your life, or those drone replace you know, a helicopter which was 10 times more loud, you know, before, or those drones crop with 80% better production rate. So why do you go and constantly complain because of the noise? Or and after I understood people are uneducated, and the social acceptance is still not there. But very funnily, the CEOs thinks, oh, we do fantastic thing for drone, there is no problem, everyone loves us. But no, people I mean, no. And I think this is why I really support Sharon programs as well regarding schools and education. And when we talked to Sharon, she mentioned that she co-outdoor a few children books, and because today children are the adults in 5 years, right, or 10 or 20. So I think it's crucial to do more and more programs about the social acceptance and education, and I think there is not enough. So on my talks, the last question always to the CEOs, what do you think about where are we with social acceptance? And funny enough, they all say, oh, fantastic, everyone loves drones. And you know, there is the contrast here, which is really funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it, really, how there is a big gap still between acceptance and you know, it'd be interesting. I think the kids will teach the parents. You know,
Yeah.
if they find out drones, they'll tell the parents, and it goes upwards. So that's quite cool, that. But yeah, I mean, you must have encountered some really interesting people and also learned some different perspectives, you know, wide-ranging perspective about what's going on in the drone industry around the world. I'm curious, you know, what's a key feature of some of the people that you've encountered?
Yeah, Yes, so I think it's an interesting topic. Which is super interesting is this is a new innovative area, and people don't have background in aviation. You would assume aviation people kickstart these drone initiatives, but no. Based on the interviewed C-level people, I should say that 85% has no background in aviation. They don't know aviation. They are business people. So they seen the business potential in drones, and they shuffled themselves to there, like myself, or Sharon, maybe. I'm pointing her out here because I know she's not initially from aviation as well, or you, Louise, as far as I know. So I see 85% is not about aviation. They see a lot of potential, and this is why they changed or opened a startup, or so that's, for me, was a really interesting fact. And the other fact is that I think aviation based on safety, and my partner is an aerospace engineer, and he always says to me that the biggest challenge currently in sea level, they don't get, if you build a startup or an operation with drones, it's not like a fintech or another startup. These things flies. This thing put people life in danger. So it's going to be 10 times more complex to succeed than if you create a new software for a financing, company. Because if you fail with a financing company, you lost a lot of money. But here, if you fail, you may harm people around you. So I think that's what is also very interesting. C-level people, as far as I see, they don't get this. So they just keep pushing and being agile as a normal startup, but it is a high risk startup, right? So I think this is also an interesting takeaway nowadays from the interviews. I'm not sure, what do you think about this? Or
no, I think it's an interesting point, because I think that's where a lot of frustration can come from, is that business people are having business ideas, and there's these regulations. And I mean, aviation is one of the most highly regulated, and it needs to be safe. Yeah. And suddenly, business people are coming up to this brick wall and banging their heads on it,
yeah,
quite viciously in some case. So yeah, it's a valid point. Yeah, I'm curious also, what sort of applications or missions have you seen that people that you've been speaking to, again through drone talks, what are some of the most inspiring applications or missions that you've seen, and possibly even those that are being used in Africa?
So I haven't talked to much people in Africa. I had a fantastic talk with Louis, so check out that interview. I think, for example, I know Kenya Airways in Africa. So I already have an interview coming up with them scheduled because I know them. I know the UTM program. So, for example, it's a really interesting. 2 years ago, Kenya Airways decided to have a UTM program as well, and they have their own drone program. And I also know Vodafone in Cape Town. They also work on how to integrate, and I'm really good friend with them, how to integrate on cellular drones as well to different applications. So regarding Africa, that's a two contact who I have, and I see both of them are really actively involved in a drone ecosystem, which is I think fantastic. Regarding applications, during the interviews, I think which is the biggest is the vaccine delivery, like Zipline or others. This is the classic, and I think it's easy win because the regulator are gonna let you fly because you save lives, But the question is, we have 20 or 50 or 100 or 200, but the question, how you're gonna scale, and I think this is a challenge because business is not going to be alive. You cannot earn money if only a drone can deliver vaccines when it saves lives, right? It's not enough for a whole industry to succeed. And I think more and more places I see deliveries, you know, like Wing does a delivery in America, or Manna in Ireland. Check out to them. They already have delivery programs with Tesco, which is a local store. I'm not sure if you have it in Africa. Yeah. So they have delivery programs, and they have book deliveries, and they already, you know, doing it. So it's like it's happening. And in Switzerland, where I am, we have already these medicine deliveries, blood deliveries running. We have a lot of agricultural use cases, which are very popular. They use drones for spraying instead of helicopters, you know. So I think there are a lot of applications out. The big question, how they can scale and create revenue for drone companies, pilots, or anyone involved. And I think this is the big question, because currently I don't see this scaling activities. There are no commercialization. I'm not sure how about in Africa, but here definitely I don't see commercialization in Europe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of, but I don't know if it's the same sort of example, is, I mean, Zipline is in Ghana now. They're moving into Nigeria, I think, and I think isn't Rwanda also covered by Zipline as well? So I mean, but is that what you mean by commercialization and scaling?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very honest with you. I'm meaning like Zipline, not a profit-oriented company. So Zipline not make money. If I want to be very honest with you, they use the government support to do good, which is fantastic. I mean, I love them. I think it should happen. It's amazing. But me or you or any of you want to make revenue and pay your bills, you know, you need to fly. You need to have a commercial business or a business model behind, right? And it needs to be enabled, not only if you deliver vaccines, but if you do something else as well. And I think that's the catch here. Like I can read in the news, Zipline is doing amazing, which is fantastic, but it doesn't mean the industry earn money from drone services.
Yeah. No,
Zipline using the government money to save lives, which is awesome, you know. But does it mean that any of the business owner gonna make revenue who doesn't want to deliver blood or vaccines? No. Yeah. Okay. But I opened the floor. I'm not sure what other things about this. Maybe someone sees differently. So I'm very happy to.
Does anybody want to comment on that now? Anybody got a thought there?
Louise, you and I have spoken about this a little bit, and I think Esther's point is 100% valid and accurate. We, and specifically in South Africa, beat each other, you know, because we're not innovating, and we're not doing this, and why aren't we competing with Africa? And Africa's so innovative, and, you know, Zipline and Swoop Aero is in there, and I think the response really is those are humanitarian sponsored programs. Potentially, and I don't want to talk out of turn, but I think it's kind of an easy win, because maybe the countries that they're doing this in need it the most, right? But also potentially, and I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but potentially an easier target, right? Because the airspace is not as busy potentially as ours in South Africa, and the regulations are probably a little bit more flexible, or maybe there aren't any. So of course the civil aviation authorities will say, sure, come, you know, we'll test everything. And so there are a lot of winners, obviously, as Esther said, you know, the end users whose lives are being saved, of course, but then the aviation authorities are winning, the actual, humanitarian aid companies, and of course those that bring in the aircraft. So it is kind of like first world countries coming in, doing good, but then yes, where is that commercialization? Probably local, kind of local job creation, but again, the scalability is not there. So I think, you know, I didn't say anything new. I'm just echoing what Esther's saying. I completely agree. I think the scalability and the commercialization has to happen.
Okay. No, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I do. I mean, that's what's being sold, isn't it? Be a pilot and get lots of money. It's not quite that easy, I think. Yeah, I think quickly before getting on to the Drone Talks Academy part, Eszter, if I can just ask, I'm curious, what roles have you seen women playing in the industry from your perspective of interviewing on the Drone Talks?
It's a nightmare, guys. I'm very honest with you, because you basically need to go and hunt down women in the industry in leadership position, which is super sad. I think, in my opinion. And as I mentioned in one of the interview, I think I experience on my own skin. I get invited to panels because they need to tick the box, have one woman in the panel. That's the best case scenario, but usually they don't even ticking the boxes. They just go and, all men. For example, now I joined to the Swiss Drone Association. Guess what? I called in 65 men and myself last week, and no one woman. And and I joined now, and they are running now, like, I don't know, 10 years without a woman. So these kind of things, I think it's sad, because it's 21st century and we are still here. So, and shocking, because I thought we are not here now. I thought we're not here now, and we are. So I think it's our responsibility. I'm very honest with you, because we need to push ourselves out. We need to be visible. And a lot of time, if I am not enough confident in some topic, I am prefer to also step back. Or a lot of time I feel like I am less than them, and I have these feelings. And a lot of time I am not pushing myself. Because for example, they have a board, all men, and I want to join and apply for it, but I have this fear, what happen if I'm not going to be voted? It's shame, because I'm a high level leader and they're not going to vote me. Like, I constantly feel this. I don't have this positivity and confidence still, and I am thinking, if I don't have it, who else has it? Because I have all the reason to have the confidence and I still don't have. So I think this is a problem. We don't talk about this enough. We also don't push ourselves enough. And on the other hand, it's again education, because people, men, they don't do it on purpose a lot of time. Like my partner, we constantly talk about these things, and he said, look, I am a white male person as well, in 40 in aviation in the last 20 years, and I didn't realize there is problems that exist, but now you keep telling me, I know because of you. But if you are not in a meeting, I don't know, I don't even realize there is no woman there, or there is no diversity there in different backgrounds, or so they just don't realize, because they do their job, they work, they agree, and they move on, right? So it's somehow, I think we need to highlight, we need to educate them, we need to involve them in the discussions. I think also I would welcome in these meetings men, because they would listen what I am telling, and they would be educated. And I think we need to create also groups, men, women. So I also think women and drones need men as well, to get educated and informed. I'm not sure what Sharon thinks about this, but this is how I also found, if we bring them to these discussions and inform them and talk to them, they understand it better, and next time they can kickstart these initiatives from themselves. Because now my partner constantly pushing it as well. But why? Because I explained to him and I complain him every single night, right? So it's kind of,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I'm happy to jump in. So I think you're right on point, Eszter. And one of the things that we have learned is that you need to give them time to get comfortable, because as Louise knows, because she does dial into our US version of this same platform, the men have really grown, the number of men participating and the number of men requesting to speak has really grown over the last few months. Wouldn't you agree, Louise?
Yes.
as well as they are joining Women in Drones. More of them have started joining Women in Drones,
Amazing.
and they have come out and been more proactive in contacting us saying, hey, I know this person, I'd like to bring her in, or hey, I'm looking for this speaker. And, you know, it's taken a while for us to get there. I mean, I started this company 5 years ago, but, you know, I have spent my entire adult career as being the only woman in the room many times, and many times the only minority woman in the room. And so, you know, at this point in my life, I feel that someone has to, or we collectively have to continue to help people understand the importance of having women at the table and having their voice. And you can't push it, but you can slowly engage them so that they start learning. I mean, because most of them, well, all of them have mothers. Many of them will have sisters or nieces or aunts and aunts, right? So they understand, but it's helping them understand how business can be much more dynamic with our voices at the table. And it's not one voice, it's multiple voices. It's the right voices. And I'm hoping that through Women in Drones, we're helping them see it's not about having one woman, it's about having the right voices across the board. That, for me, that's what's key. And because of the pandemic, when we started doing the Coffee Connections, which is the American version or the US version of this platform, over the last few months, I would say we've had an extreme growth in men coming on board, both as members as well as joining the platform. And, you know, they send us referrals, they're getting involved, and they're saying, how can we help? Because you know what? I think they look at us differently now because we're bringing the business conversations, we're bringing the speakers. It's not the same faces, it's not the same people over and over. And they see that we're there talking about business. We're there discussing business ideas or business problems that someone says, can you help us solve? And it, like I said, it's been a 5-year journey, but I see the progress is slowly but surely coming along. I had a meeting the other day, a Zoom meeting the other day with a company that proactively reached out to us and said, how can we get involved with Women in Drones? We see the need for more women in aviation. And I was just like, hallelujah, this is great, right? And then I had someone else do an e-introduction saying, hey, Sharon, this company is wanting to get a hold of Women in Drones because they want to be more proactive and hiring women, bringing women in as interns, looking for women engineers. So again, it's been a 5-year journey, but the fact that I'm getting more and more of those is great. And that's why we promote women. That's why we put their stories out. You know, I've had people say, you should charge people to put their stories out. Well, you know what? That defeats the purpose of making sure that everyone on this call has their story out there so that, because you all bring something different. And who am I to say, because you didn't pay me, I shouldn't put your story there. I want everybody's story out there because you just never know who out there will need someone with that background, that experience, and that knowledge.
Yeah.
No, totally, Sharon. And I think this is exactly what men-driven industry needs, what you do, you know. And also, you know, what was difficult, and I'm not sure, and I'm really happy to listen other people experience, but, you know, women are mean. I should say that loud because that's the truth. I mean, we are mean with each other. Like when I get the director of this Global UTM Association chair, the only person who voted against of me was the only one woman in the board. The 8 men voted yes, and the 1 woman voted no. And, you know, and she said, I'm too young and too loud for this role. I think, chair, I think she used loud. Yeah, that was the word what she used. And you know, obviously, it kind of, I didn't expect it because I thought exactly the woman gonna stand up for me, you know, and exactly the woman gonna understand my struggles and daily challenges, having a family, you know, managing everything, you know, in 24 hours. and she was the one who felt like a little bit less because another woman came to the picture, or I'm not sure, you know, and it's a weird thing, and this is why I also think that a lot of time in leadership position, a woman as well, instead of collaborate, be happy I have it, I own it, it's mine, and not share it. And I'm not sure about your experiences, but I kind of had a lot of experience like this. I'm already up there. I am the top. I am the cool one, the good one. I am the woman in the table. I'm not gonna let another woman eating from my food, you know, kind of approach. And I see everyone's laughing. I'm not sure if you had the same experience, but I minimum had it 2-3 times this experience in 10 years during my career. And when women were mean to me, when I didn't, you know, expected that. So I think that's another call to action, to kind of lift up others when we are already high, then push them down, you know, just to show we are more. And I think it's a really, really, really sad approach. And unfortunately, I think a few women top that up still has this approach, you know. I'm not sure about your experiences, but
yeah, I mean, I think we're sort of smiling and nodding and saying, yeah, no, what you're Kim, you've got your hand up. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say I worked in large corporates. I have like, I don't know, over 20 years in large corporates, global companies, and I worked in HR, and it's a phenomenon called Queen Bee syndrome. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And the premise is that women struggle to get to the top. And I think you've already called it out, Eszter. Once they're there, and I know I'm generalizing, but it does happen, and you've experienced it. I have never experienced it. I've always only had I'm very fortunate. I've always only had really supportive women bosses. I actually have had quite a few, and they've been amazing. But the phenomenon is really around, I've struggled to get here. This is my turf. And don't come and disrupt this thing that I have, because if that person is in that role and they are respected by their male counterparts, they actually start almost emulating this egocentric approach. And it's very sad. It's an actual thing. So what you've experienced is like the front, you know, sharp edge of that, which is super sad.
I agree. I've got 2 hands up, Ella and Sharon, yeah, as well. Ella?
Go ahead, Ella. Go ahead, Ella.
No, you can go, Sharon, it's fine.
Okay. No, I was going to say, I agree with Kim in terms of that experience. We share that same experience coming from a corporate background also. And, you know, you could be in sports, it's any industry, you're going to find that. And you got to just continue to, one of the things I've always learned, particularly if I was the junior person, I've always learned either from someone a habit or a style or approach that I want to adopt, or something that I make sure that when I get in that position, I will not do. Most of the time, I learn what I won't do, because most people don't know how to treat others, or they feel, to Kim's point, they feel like I earned mine, so I'm going to keep it and push everyone else out. And you have to be confident, as you said, Eszter, in terms of saying, I have the skills and the knowledge, and one day I will get there, and with or without this person's help. So you have to have that confidence. And then when you do get there, you'll be the one to reach out and help other people up, rather than be the one that says, I finally made it myself, and now I can push everyone away, or I can be the queen in the spotlight for a period of time. But I always look at it that way. What can I learn from someone and that's good, and something that I won't adopt? Because what they don't realize is many times they don't realize what they're doing, or they're just power hungry. And that's going to be short term, either for them or for you. Because you might stay there long enough to get what you need and say, you know what, I really need to move on to something else. And you take that experience, and when you get to the next organization and then you're the top person, you just know you don't want to treat someone that way. And it makes you more mindful. but you can't worry about them. You have to decide what you bring to the party and help others see that value. And if they don't want to see it, then you have to move on. And a lot of times that's what that experience is about, is what does it take to move on?
Yeah. That's a good point. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the best thing about learning what not to be. Definitely. I've heard a reference of crabs in a bucket, as if you put a whole bunch of crabs in a bucket and one starts to climb on the others to get them out, all the others pull down, and you know, they all end up on the same level again. And I've heard that reference of crabs in a bucket, and for situations with women in industry. I haven't experienced that myself either, but I went to boarding school, so I've got an idea of what it. But sorry, Ella.
Ella was going to say something.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Mark.
I'll
Say again?
just to add. Oh, Ellen. Okay, just to add on this story. I had I think 5 years ago, I opened up my college, an aviation college. I had both male and female. All the doors were shut. No one believed in me. So I had just to start whatever I had by myself with 2 students. Going to 5 years later, now I'm able to sit with CAA and say, I want to open up a department for drones, and they're actually happy. But it took 5 years for people to actually know that it's a real deal. Yeah, so I'm excited, and I'm glad to meet each one of you, and we'll work it through together.
Well done, fantastic.
Wait, just introduce yourself, Mafu, and where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Mafu. You can call me Mafu. I'm from Zambia. I'm the founder and managing director of Southern Africa Institute of Aviation Science and Technology. So we are planning to have a new program bringing in drones. So I'm working with CAA, and they're actually backing me up with the entire team. So yeah.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
We had a lovely chat yesterday. So yeah. Martha is going to be on the Trailblazing Women series as well. So yeah, that's going to be excellent. But thank you, Ella. You were going to say something too.
I just wanted to say that I have experienced very, very, very much times that women don't give women a chance. That they are like those crabs you talk about. They don't want to give. It's all about them. So I've always believed that women will only use you until they have got where they can go with what you give them, and then they will leave you and go. So actually, when Kim sent me a message the first time, I was like, what, why? And then I was looking for the snake in the bush. I was waiting for that backstab, and I can't believe. And then, I'm sorry, Kim, it's not just you. It's just the experience that I've always had. And when Louise, actually, when I talked to her, I was like, okay, Kim didn't do anything bad. So, and now it's just like, I'm hungry for that women to be empowered by all of you have stories, and you all want to empower women, which is so nice for me because I've never experienced that. So I know now that Kim won't do something bad, but I didn't know in the beginning, and Louise as well. So when I was at the mine, they actually started this Women in Mining program where they elevate women, and we were 10 ladies, and one of the ladies dropped out, and all the other ladies that were still there were so excited because this one lady dropped out, and I was like, why? I feel so ashamed for her. So not ashamed, so sorry for her. And then the 9 of us spent 4 years together, so each one was trying to do better than the other one. So we started developing this kind of relationship, like you did A, so I want to do A+. So we actually motivated each other in a bad way to do better than the other one. So yeah, I really like this seeing women like this because I'm not used to it, and I want to thank all of you for it. And it's so nice. Like I said, I'm hungry for talking to women about drones, something that I love. So not lipstick and high heels and stuff. So it's really nice. And I appreciate all of you.
Oh, Ella, I'm so glad you're I don't know, you're part of our community. I'm so excited for us and for you. So I'm glad you said yes.
Yay.
Absolutely. There you go. Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, no, we're here to support each other. There's not going to be any of that that negative, mean stuff. This is a forum. Women and Drones is a forum for helping us, helping women to get where they want to go with this industry. So yeah, yes, we're not going to see that here. Okay. Cool. I think yeah, perhaps Eszter, please tell us about your the Drone Talks Academy, and you know what your goals are for that, what the programs are, and how people can benefit from the Drone Academy. Sorry, Drone Talks Academy.
Yes, thanks, Louise. So what happened after we set up these drone talks, you know, where we interview for free, by the way, we do as well for free all the C-level talks, and we have the production teams and a podcast before and everything. We were thinking like, okay, that's great, but you know, that's a lot of cost. And as a business person, at one point we were just running out of money, you know, because it's a fantastic, you do it for a better cause and you record, but you know, every single video what you record had production, has a marketing person, you know, has a video editor, a podcast editor, a designer. So one point the cost was kind of eating us. I'm very honest with you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to move a little bit because here is getting darker. Okay, like this maybe. Okay. So one point the cost was kind of eating us. That's what happened. And on the other hand, what happened with my marketing and PR agency on drones is that I'm hired more and more people, and I had a big problem because these people were fantastic PR people and fantastic marketing people, but they had no clue about aviation or drones. And I had to teach them, right? So in the meantime, I was teaching the new hire, working full time, dealing with my family, try to stay alive. Drone Talks eat all my money. And I was like, okay, it cannot go like this. It was a little bit kind of the deep point. And I was like, and in the meantime, I was head of the Global UTM Association, and these big players keep pushing you know, pressure on me, million reasons. So it was a full-time job itself, just be a director and lead this whole company. So it was a little bit too much. And after I was like, okay, now I need to reassess what's going on. And I recognize the problem is I always need to teach the new people. And not just teach, but keep explaining them, keep them on board, which was a lot of time from me all the time. So we were like, okay, if I have this problem, probably other startup owners has the same problem, probably other companies has the same problem. They find fantastic professionals, but you know, by the time they train them, it's like 3 months, and until they cannot earn basically money, they cannot move on, you know, they can, and the CEO has a lot of resource to train someone, required a lot of resource. So this is how the academy came up, where we basically designed programs to get people up to speed, you know. And we have 2 programs currently, one for C-level people that's focusing on if you are already in the drone industry, but you want to kind of understand what's going on regarding regulation in Europe, in America, in Asia or Africa. You want to know the latest technological trends. You want to know who stakeholders, who does what is use space, what is UTM, what's next, how your company can grow. And you're a C-level decision maker. That's a 1-day live training with Lorenzo Murzili and myself. Lorenzo Murzili led the Swiss CAA for 11 years, their drone program there. And he's my other half, by the way, in bracket. So basically it's a family startup. I love the story because I think it's super funny. And this is how we come up, because he has his own company now as well. He left the Swiss CAA 3 months ago, and he had the same problem and they are focused on safety, on drone safety, and he has the same problem when he hired. So basically this is how we come up with an idea. So that's one for C-level people, the one-day one, where you can learn everything what's going on now in a drone ecosystem if you need to make decisions. And you can also network. It's a live Q&A. There are going to be other C-level people there. So it's a really, really good place to network. It's only 10 people in one day. So you can get a small group, learn together interactively, review everything. And in the end, you will get a slide deck about the regulations, about the latest technologies, the stakeholder, like an analytics about the whole current status of the world. And the other training, it's more like a first hire when someone enters into the drone ecosystem and they don't know the basics, they don't know the acronyms, they don't know how hardware builds up, software builds up, who are the ecosystem players. We invited investors to talk about why they invest in drone startups, what they need to see to invest in those startups. So it's like a 7 days program, but we have a lot of guest lecturers there, like business owners. We have people from governments, from the European Commission, and investors, business people, where they see the money. So basically it's more like start from zero. If you want to kickstart something on drone, or you hired someone and you need a whole 360 overview, that's a 7 day. And the one day when, if you already know everything, you just need the up-to-date knowledge and you want to ask questions about anything basically going on drones. So there's a 2 program currently what we have. And in both parts we're going to cover, of course, SORA and all the other, necessary informations as well. And we give you like a summary when you leave. But I think it's more like very strongly networking part as well, and the Q&A part where we reply on your questions regarding business. So that's the academy, what we started now, and that's the first. So we are really excited. I'm very honest with you, and let's see what's gonna happen. It's new for us as well. We know this is something where I would attend for 100%. So this is how the need came, and this is something where I would send my employees if I want to quickly onboard them without spending million hours of explaining everything about drones. So let's see. I think it's super exciting. We have few people already signed up, which is awesome. And I think the first 2 courses gonna be really kind of family feeling, like here, because we are new. It's a new startup, but we really see a lot of interest, and as I said, a lot of people already signed up, which is fantastic. So yeah. So, and on the other hand, we have discount code for the attendees here. So I put here, that's Drone Talk 30. If you want to check out our webpage, I'm not sure if Luis, you put it the academy here or not, but it's Drone Talks /academy. This discount code will give you 30% off from the upcoming courses. So feel free to use. We still have early bird tickets, and this early bird price is 30% off. I think it's fair enough. We have the one-day one and the 3rd of March. So it's like 2 weeks. And we have that course. That's for decision makers, up-to-date knowledge. And the long one, the 7-day one, gonna kickstart in April with a lot of guest lecturers. Yeah, so the code is good for both of them. Yeah.
Thank you very much. No, cool. Thank you. Sort of drawing to a close, sadly. We'll have to come back and chat to you and see how your courses grow, and get your feedback and how they were received. But I'm just curious, just one last sort of thing. What sort of advice would you offer women who are thinking of getting into this industry?
The getting into or already in it? That's 2 different.
Well, perhaps both. Those are the
Yeah, I love when Sharon always says network, because I think that's a general best advice which anyone can give. to another person, because maybe that person who you met at the moment today not meets with any of the business needs you have, or but you never know who gonna be who in 2 months or 1 year or half a year, right? So no one thought in 2 years ago I will be a director of the whole UTM ecosystem, and I was. So so I think life changes, so don't forget that. And another thing for women especially, I think this confidence which we are lacking, and I think this is my advice, is that don't drag down your own self. Just assume you are not enough good, then just wait, go for it, fight for it, and try to do again, assess, go again, because I think all my colleagues, and I mentor a few women in aviation as well for 2 CAAs, and both the UK and the Swiss. I have 2 mentor program there, which I run, and both women has this confidence issue, and which is I think it's an existing thing. We drag down ourselves before we even try, because we worry, and I think that's the other advice. Don't worry that much, give a try, assess what happened. If you fail, do it differently, but keep going, and push that button on LinkedIn, publish your opinion, don't worry what others think, don't worry if no one shares, don't worry if no one comments, don't worry if you say something that's stupid, because we all feel that, I feel it every day, like, and I think that's the other advice what we need to remind ourselves, don't worry to go for it. I think that's
Yeah.
that's yeah.
No, good advice. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. We've got a minute or two for any extra questions before our hour is up. Has anybody got anything to ask Eszter or comment on? No.
If not, it will be.
I was just going to say thanks, Eszter, for sharing. I think you provided great insight and wisdom for the group, and that's what this is all about. It's about sharing, and it's about helping lift one another up. So thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. So I wanted to say that, like, I'm not sure if I have everyone on LinkedIn, but if not, can you add me? Because it would be great to keep in touch, and I would really love to follow up. I know Louise and Sharon, and I have Kim on LinkedIn. However, we never chatted before. But I think I would really keen to have Ella and Mafunas. Do I pronounce it? What are your name? Sorry. Yeah.
You can call me Mafu, it's fine.
Mafu. Okay, cool. So if we can add each other LinkedIn and maybe follow up,
Sure.
and I would love to see, what's going on with others as well. So.
Eszter, I just, sorry, Louise, I just wanted to say thank you for your candor and for sharing, because, it's very easy to share successes and all the cool stuff, but, to kind of open up and show some vulnerability is difficult. And we should do more of that as well, because then that shows a level where, of approachability. And so I wanted to thank you for doing that today. I really enjoyed hearing your story and your stories. I've learned a few things, and I'm definitely wanting to check out your academy for sure.
Sounds great. Thanks, Kim. Thanks. I mean, I think that's just as a closing thought, that's the tough part when you talk about your failures, and we all fail. I do fail as like today I am failing as a partner, because I'm not playing with the kids out, because I choose my career now and talk to you ladies, and another day I will fail maybe with another meeting, because I will be not there in time, because we have a 10 years old who needs something else from me. So I think I'm constantly failing, during the day, but I think that's fine. And you cannot succeed everywhere. I think it's not exist if someone says they are a perfect mother and they're perfect businesswoman and they make million revenues and they all ID workout and, you know, and because that's not exist, I think. At least I don't know that person how they do that, you know. Like, yeah.
Sharon,
I was just going to say, Esther, I would encourage you to not look at it as failures, but looking at how you balance between your yeses and no. Because as women, sometimes we get overwhelmed with feeling like we have to be everywhere at you know, agree to attend everything and participate in everything. And you've got to find that ownership of saying no, that it's okay to say no if you've got a conflicting interest or another activity already planned. So, you know, I would just encourage you not to look at it as a failure. Just look at it as, you know, you need to own your life and balance your life.
No, totally, Sharon. I think you totally agree with you. I mean, you know, Kim mentioned failure. So I use the word failure, but you know, I don't think so. It's a failure as well. I agree with you, Sharon. But on the other hand, you know, if it's a failure, that's fine as well. This is what I want to say. I don't see failure is a negative thing. For me,
I think you're being real. You're being real.
Yeah.
You're being authentic, right?
Okay, fantastic. So let's keep in touch. I think it was really fantastic, Louise. Thank you so much for the invitation. And, you know, I will really try to attend on the American ones as well. It's a little bit challenging because of the time zones, but, you know, I will.
well, no, thank you very much for joining us today. I mean, as Kim said, some great comments there, great insights, and thank you very much. I'm sorry, I've got to bring this to an end, actually. I think we're just starting to get into some more stuff that's some really good meaty topics as well. But I must draw those. This will go out on the website, so I'll also say farewell to the audience that will see this as well in due time. But thank you very much, Esther, again. Thanks, everybody, Sharon, Kim, and Marfu for joining me and joining us this evening. Please carry on spreading the word. Bring a buddy. I think that was you that said that last week, Sharon. But yeah, please bring a buddy or tell another buddy, and let's grow this network of support for other women. And yeah, again, for the audience, become a member of Women and Drones. From the African perspective, the pricing it has been adjusted to accommodate African exchange rates. So please consider that and join us. And benefit from being part of Women and Drones. And let me know if you want to be a guest speaker. You know, you can see what we're discussing here. Come and tell us about your experiences, about your services, your products, what you're doing, your experiences, as I said. Share some of the things that you've encountered, and let's have some fun. So yeah, thank you, everybody. Please keep safe and keep well, and see you next week.